tears in my eyes.
The cream of the crop.
Acknowledge me.
Episode 397 of Top Rope Nation, a Sunday morning. Once again, Ryan Drosty, Justin Joint, Jesse Velasquez, talking a little WWE, talking a little AEW, probably a little coffee talk, a little sports talk as we get started here, as we always do. Jesse, your guys are playing over in Europe yet again, yet you were kind enough to join us this morning. How you doing, sir?
I don't watch games live when my son is here. He's reenacting maybe not Shakespeare, but he could be doing just some sort of Broadway over here. He's singing away like he always does to his times tables.
Nice. Gotta love learning math, right?
He soaks it in like a sponge. It is unbelievable how much attention or how much detail he retains when it comes to his times tables. And we're all statistical nerds here, I would assume. So, I mean, apple doesn't fall from the tree when it comes to my son.
Yeah, awesome. How you doing, Justin?
I'm good, man. I'm just kind of perusing the AEW shop, and they got some nice new T-shirts. There's a new Brodito one that's pretty freaking sweet, and this Hispanic Heritage Month one is badass with just like all the masks of the wrestlers. That's really cool.
Nice.
I will need to peruse that here in a second.
Well, you know, it could have gone better yesterday, Justin, for our favorite baseball teams. I know Chris, listener of the show, is probably pretty happy with the Brewers, but Cubs really no-showed game one, so we'll see what happens as this series goes on. And same thing for your Yanks.
Yeah, I mean, they both really shat the bed yesterday. So I don't know. The Yankees also kind of shit the bed in game one against the Red Sox. So hopefully it goes the same way as that one did.
Are they playing the Jays or the Mariners?
Jays.
Okay.
I'm rooting for a Yankees-Tigers ALCS.
Yeah, I know the Cubs lost game one of the DS the year they won the World Series. So who knows? Who knows what'll happen? But yeah, they did not look good. That is for sure. And my Bears are on a bye week, so I don't really know what to do with myself. No stress today as I watch football. That's going to be kind of nice. And
my Niners played on Thursday, so
yeah.
I'm not really interested in the NFL today.
Yeah.
What's going on there? 4-1 with a bunch of scrubs.
I mean, the quarterback controversy has begun. I'm a Mac Jones guy now.
Well, you know what? This might be heresy to say here in the state of Iowa. I've always thought Purdy's super overrated. I think he's just a product of the system. I think you have a great system out there. I think you put him on another team, he's not nearly as good.
I think he's good, but now that he makes that much money, he's not quite that good.
Well, yeah, that's kind of the yin and the yang with the NFL. You got to pay those guys, right? Once they get to that point, so you don't really have much of a choice. You got to balance it out. So, yeah. Well, we got some pro wrestling to talk about, you guys. There's a lot going on in WWE and AEW. Roman Reigns made his 5,000th return to WWE this week. Big return. We didn't just see him or anything. He's back. Jesse's favorite, Andrade, returned to AEW, shocking everybody. Justin's throwing up his Hotspurs keychain here on the webcam.
I was reminded that they won.
Yes.
I finally know what COYS means. Coy. Come on, you Spurs. I heard that on a podcast a couple of days ago. I was like, oh, that's what that means.
Yeah.
Really? Why were they talking about Spurs?
I think it just came up in, I think one of the three is either really one of the three is really into English Premier League. I don't know where that, pretty cool.
I see Niles in the chat reminding Justin about Tottenham. All right, very good. So, hey, look, we could start this either way. If you guys are here live with us right now, please be sure to hit the like button. We would really appreciate that here on YouTube. Helps us get in front of more people. Subscribe to the channel, of course, as well. Same thing goes for the podcast feed. We're going to talk a little bit later on the show about Patreon and what we got going on over there. We got a big show coming up this week for our patrons. Jesse's dropping stuff all the time. We'll get into the details here in just a little bit. All right. So, Jesse, let me just ask you about Andrade's return. attacking Kenny Omega, because you're a resident Andrade, not expert, but critiquer of pops, I would say. And you know what? Probably a bigger pop than he ever got in his time in World Wrestling Entertainment when he went back. What did you think of the return of Andrade?
Might have spoiled my show open for Unplugged next week. Well, I was indifferent. I feel just because this is Niall, by the way, is in this chat, brought the greatest point to our Facebook group about him being almost this generation's Jeff Jarrett. This is his second time in AEW. He's been at WWE twice, and he really hasn't made a giant difference in either company. Now, while we're in a wait and see pattern here, and speaking of Andrade and the Don Callis family growing exponentially, I think they're at, what are they at, like 10 guys right now? Like, where does he fall in the pecking order? He's a new shiny toy, but he falls in the middle. You got Okada, Takeshita, Fletcher. So I would maybe put him 4, but there's a couple other guys you could go, all right, he's 4. So my opinions are wait and see, especially since he looks like he's going to be wrestling Kenny Omega right away. Mm-hmm. If you give him a win over Kenny Omega, then you have to pay attention. But if he just loses that match, he's going to fall right back down the line, exactly where he has been for the last 6 years.
Yeah.
I think the important thing is that Andrade is aware as to where he stands in a company now, that he is firmly entrenched in the mid card and probably won't get much higher than that. I still like Andrade. I think his in-ring work is solid, and I'm just thankful that we have these kind of people that jump from company to company, because as we talk about all the time, that's what makes professional wrestling fun, is when people switch companies all the time. So I'm pretty pleased with it at the moment. I think we do probably need to have a discussion about the Don Callis family at some point, but I'm pro Andrade, especially if he's got his head in the right place as far as this current AEW run is going to go.
Yeah, I think it's a better place for him, ultimately, and probably he realizes that too. I always thought, like, during his first run in AEW, he was booked decently. He right up until the end, actually, getting some big wins right up until he walked out the door. And, when TK was asked about him leaving prior, he basically was super diplomatic about the whole thing. Doors kind of open is kind of how he left it. And yeah, we saw that. And yeah, to your point, Justin, always more exciting when you get these people jumping back and forth. When he appeared in the ring after the lights went out and pulled off the mask, crowd absolutely ate that up down in Hollywood, Florida. And it was a cool moment. We'll see how they carry through with it. I agree. Don Callis family getting a little bit too big for sure, to Jesse's point, where he slots in right in the middle there, probably somewhere. But yeah, it's one night, so we'll have to see where it goes. But yeah, you make a good point about how he probably needs to get the win over Kenny to make him seem like a threat coming back, if you want him to be taken seriously. So, we'll see what happens. We also got a world title match announced for the next pay-per-view, WrestleDream, down in St. Louis. Let's see, 2 weeks from this weekend. Yeah, 2 weeks away. Samoa Joe and Hangman Adam Page, who were in this 6-man tag together. And then Joe takes umbrage with the fact that Hangman stole his tag. And they have this back and forth. And then throughout the show on Dynamite, the 6th anniversary show, which we can talk about that moment here in a little bit too, and the accomplishment that is for this company. But we get this world title match that nobody was expecting, really, a few days ago. And obviously it's going to be probably a pretty awesome match. Jesse, how you feeling about this one?
I was too nervous to pull the trigger on that prediction, because I think a week ago when they announced the 6-man, I had actually saw some whispers out there like, Hangman Samoa Joe, is this a possibility? I said, maybe, but how are they going to get there?
Yeah, that was the thing.
I think how they got there, depending on how you look at it, is a little controversial. I thought it was simple. They should have played a little more, and they started to, I think, as they were talking it out, playing it a little more to the fact that Samoa Joe was never pinned by Hangman. I don't think he ever had a rematch.
No.
Never faced Swerve, or anyone for that matter. Also, I'm just lost my train of thought. with Samoa Joe and Hangman. He pinned Hangman, I believe, in that triple threat match at Revolution.
I think Hangman tapped because Swerve was crawling to him while Joe had him in the chokehold.
There you go. So we got a tap out situation here. So Samoa Joe can definitely hold that card nice and high over Hangman. He's a credible opponent. It's kind of similar. It's probably a step or two above, just because I feel his work rate is better. Cody Rhodes, AJ Styles, where you kind of know that the conclusion, it's almost an afterthought. We think Hangman's going to retain here, but the quality of wrestling is going to be a little bit higher. And how can you not love Samoa Joe in a high-profile match? Just happy anniversary. I've said it how many times this week to him and Kenta Kobashi, 2005, Ring of Honor.
Mm-hmm.
Go watch it. It's free on YouTube. Love that match.
Yeah, there you go.
It's so obviously kind of just like a standby match before they jump to whatever Hangman's next feud is going to be. But if you have, or if you need to kill that amount of time, this is kind of the perfect way to do it. Joe is always going to be credible as a challenger, I think, in the eyes of most professional wrestling. Both these guys, Hangman and Joe, are so dialed in to their characters at this point that the execution of it was really well done. And while I don't think there's, any chance Joe is going to win the title, it's going to be an awesome match. And, it works for me. These guys are, two of the best to do it. And if they needed to kill some time, I think this is a pretty brilliant way.
John in the chat, Justin's going to love the sweating.
Absolutely. And I do.
Yeah, I mean, former world champion, kind of getting, at least among hardcore fans, kind of like a legend. Samoa Joe is at this point, almost like a living legend who's still working. So yeah, I mean, it's cool. It's a fun match. I like the setup for it too, with the backstage promos afterwards. Joe was particularly good, I thought. And yeah, I mean, there's 3 matches announced for the show. I said it's 2 weeks away. We knew Darby and John Moxley in an I Quit match, and then they also got to Chris Statlander and Tony Storm in a singles match. Tony wrestled Ty Mello and then got on the mic on Wednesday night and, basically talked about how she has to know. She has to know if she can hang with Staten one-on-one. And, they had the multi-person match where she lost the title. So we'll get that one. I don't imagine Tony's going to get it back right away. Also kind of similar to the men's situation. Just kind of killing some time here with this one before they transition them to something fresh, I would imagine, but should be a pretty fun match.
And both of them are basically babyface versus babyface matches too.
Yeah, absolutely. So yeah, we'll get that card fleshed out over the next couple of weeks. I'm sure we'll end up with 11 or 12 matches by the time we get there. So just 3 right now. But Wednesday was a pretty exciting night because, of course, it was AEW's 6th anniversary show for Dynamite. And I thought it was really interesting, you guys, when they showed the music video for the best moments from Dynamite. I went in thinking, I wonder if they're going to show Cody, I wonder if they're going to show Punk. And in fact, both guys were in there. So, I got to give them credit to that. I hate when companies pretend that people never existed when they leave. That was one of the things I always hated, even though I was way into wrestling, obviously at the time during the Attitude Era, was it felt like the old stuff never happened. They would hardly ever reference Hogan, Macho, even Brett right after he left. It was all that was erased. And I always hate that stuff, just as a historian of the industry like you guys. I want to see nods to the past. And, we obviously with Punk, it ended really poorly. With Cody, we don't know the full story. He said some things in the media and on podcasts, but you have to acknowledge these guys if you're going to look back at the 6-year anniversary. From memory, what they showed was Cody doing the spot off the cage at one of the early 2020 Dynamites. They showed that, what was he doing? He was up in the luxury boxes, breaking into one of the boxes. They showed that. They showed Punk with the, when he did the thing with Sting, with his face painted up like Sting. What else am I missing?
I love that that's what they picked for Punk, because he looked like such a nerd in that moment.
I liked it live, though. I mean, I thought it was pretty cool.
Yeah, it was fun.
Yeah.
Cody breaking into the luxury box, that was very early AEW. That was like 4th, 5th episode.
Yeah.
That was going into the first Full Gear.
That's right.
Did they show, I don't remember this, did they show the Sammy Guevara cutter off the ladder onto Cody? Because they should have. That was probably one of the biggest moments in AEW at that time.
Was that on Dynamite or was that on
That was Dynamite. Our buddy Kyle Ross was there.
Yes.
Okay. I couldn't remember because it was the I can't even think of the name. What's the show they do? It's like the Clash of the Champions.
Oh, Battle of the Belts.
Didn't he wrestle him in a ladder match in Battle of the Belts?
Oh shit.
Dustin.
Was that Dustin?
Sammy wrestled Dustin. Mm-hmm.
Okay.
Yeah, that thing flew by so fast. I'm assuming they showed the golf cart moment. There's a lot of different things.
Yeah, it was fast.
To end.
You definitely had to watch for it, but if you were watching for it, you saw those guys in there, so that was pretty cool. So, yeah, 6th anniversary of Dynamite. You guys have anything else AEW you want to hit on before we?
I would just say I think my biggest takeaway out of that anniversary show was no Jericho, which tells me he is definitely out the door and going to probably head to WWE, which is good. That's where he should go.
Big shocker, right? Real big shock. Yeah.
I got one. Do you guys have your prognostication hats on? Do you think we're going to get Kyle Fletcher, Mark Briscoe at WrestleDream, or are they going to save that for a little further down the road?
Well, I mean, I don't hate it. I mean, we've seen that match already a few times, and if there's two people that can go in the ring, it's those two. So that's fine, but that also kind of feels like a little bit of a placeholder match to see where both of them go after that.
Yeah.
I popped on that chat.
That's pretty good. You got to throw that one up there, Ryan.
If TRN was WWE, you would never acknowledge Kyle Ross. But as you guys know, we do acknowledge the boss, Kyle Ross. And, he'll be back on TRN Classics here, hopefully shortly. We've been talking with Kyle about making another return on the Classic show.
One of the things I've really been noticing with ECW in 1995 is like they'll acknowledge when one of their people sign with another company. There was an angle with Shane Douglas going out the door to the WWF. They were very open and honest with Eddie Guerrero and Dean Malenko in their last match, saying that WCW has a deal with New Japan, so unfortunately we can't have them here anymore. And the fans just absolutely, it didn't matter. They were very sad. They didn't do the "you sold out" chants yet. So, I mean, that's probably coming later on down the road. But is WWE the only company in the history of pro wrestling that has never acknowledged their past, or rarely does?
Probably.
I mean, it's just if a guy isn't, under contract with them, they just as well be dead.
Yeah. Yeah, so it was bothering me. I was like, why was I thinking Cody wrestled Battle of the Belts match? I looked it up while you guys were talking. He was supposed to, and then he had COVID. That's right. And then Dustin subbed for him. So, yeah, Cody and Sammy had worked the Beach Break match, and then they were doing Battle of the Belts, and then Cody got COVID. That's right. My God, the last few years, especially during COVID, doesn't that just feel like it's like wiped from my memory? I have a hard time going back and remembering exactly what happened.
Yeah, don't want to.
I know.
I was going to say, if we contracted COVID, that's probably how it happened. In and out.
Well, I know Justin and I got COVID out in Las Vegas at an AEW show.
Yeah, that's right. By the time we got back, we had it full blown.
Oh, God. I was just talking with someone about that this week, in fact. Go ahead, Justin. What were you going to say?
I just wanted to put kind of a period on the AEW discussion, and specifically the Don Callis family, because there's been people comparing it to the NWO, and I understand that comparison, but I am way more into the Don Callis family than I ever was into that version of the NWO, because when guys were joining the NWO left and right, I mean, they were basically glorified jobbers, a bunch of those that were joining the NWO. I mean, there were people that nobody was really interested in seeing on their television. Whereas, like, I am at the very least fans of the in-ring work of everybody that's in the Don Callis family, even if I'm not really all interested in their character or where they're going, looking at Rocky Romero and Trent and Lance Archer. But everybody else, I'm big fans of, and want to see where they go. And frankly, and the biggest point is that I have faith that there is a purpose to the size of the group right now, that there is a end game to all of it, and that just leaves me curious.
Fair. Would you agree, Jesse?
There should be, especially at the top of it. You wonder with Okada, Takeshita, and Fletcher, who's going to leave the group.
Seems
When
like
is it going to happen?
Takeshita. Like I think he's going to be getting a babyface turn here real soon.
He's got that big match next Monday against Zack Sabre, so that's going to determine a lot of his future. If they do a Continental Classic, is he in it? It's a lot of things still left to be up in the air. Love Hechicero. That's an interesting. They're making it United Nations-esque. He's tremendous in the ring. He's like a Zack Sabre and a Bryan Danielson. So fun to watch if you like that style of wrestling. Some people are bored by it. I think most of us here like it.
Yeah. All right, guys, we're going to pause here, talk about some things that the show has coming at you in the days ahead. I want to put up the names of all of our wonderful patrons, the producers of Top Rope Nation, right now on the screen. Let you know you can support Top Rope Nation by becoming a patron of the show. You start getting access to all of our bonus content for just $5 a month. We recognize that the main feed the last couple of months has got a little bit scattershot, sometimes it's been hard for us to get together. The fall, I've talked about on the show, gets pretty busy for all of us, but we've still been mostly coming at you weekly. But the thing is, we are always coming at you weekly on the Patreon feed. Jesse is religiously putting out a new TRN Unplugged every single week. I'm coming at you with Top Rope Nation Extra right after pay-per-views, instant reaction to those shows. I'm coming at you with my star ratings for all the pay-per-view and PLE events, and then Top Rope Nation Classics as well, which is our monthly deep dive retro show, which we are going to be recording this Thursday night. We're going to be looking at WWF In Your House Mind Games, of course, headlined by Mick Foley, Mankind taking on Shawn Michaels, and one of Foley's greatest matches of his career. Going to be a really fun look back. We're going to be doing that Thursday night. There's a exclusive members only live video feed that you can get if you're a patron. And then the podcast, of course, is also exclusive to Patreon supporters. So if you join the Patreon page, link here in the broadcast description, you get access to all these bonus shows. Like I said, $5 a month. You could do it for 1 month, see if you like it, and cancel. You get access to everything for that month. There's 70 episodes of classics. I don't even know how many unplugs and extras. I know altogether there's over 200 bonus shows on there. So, I mean, that is the number one best way to support what we're doing here at Top Rope Nation. We think you'll like it. Most of the people that sign up for Patreon never cancel. I mean, most of our 40 members or so right now, have been on there for years and years. And so, yeah, give it a try. See if you like it. Another way you can support the show is free. And I said it at the beginning of the show, is just subscribing here on the YouTube channel or your podcast feed. That helps us out. Liking the video, leaving a comment, leaving us a 5-star review on your favorite podcasting platform. All that stuff helps out so much. And then lastly, and I'm going to give you guys a code to save here today on our merch store. So let me just share a merch store. You can find the link to this here in the description as well. We got a pretty awesome merch store, if I do say so myself. A few months back, we redid our merch to a different vendor, and I have been really pleased with the merch I have gotten here on the current store. Really nice Comfort Colors t-shirts. I've gotten some of the Rocks glasses. You can see the Top Rope Nation Classics Rocks glass there. It's $12, which is not much for a heavy-duty, custom-made Rocks glass. We got hoodies, with fall and winter here coming at you. Polos, kids shirts, flags, tons of t-shirts, hats, all kinds of stuff. It's all pretty fairly priced, I would say. $25 for a Comfort Colors t-shirt. You can get 15% off. Just use the code, all one word, TRN Facebook. It will work when you put all this stuff in your cart. Go to checkout, put in the code TRN Facebook. You'll get 15% off on everything on the site. Make it even cheaper. pretty good deals. Check it out, you guys. I don't know why those pictures aren't loaded right now. Hold on, let me reload this. My internet connection just got really slow. It's hard to stream video and go to multiple websites. I'll just say that. But there's lots of shirts on here. You can get a TRN Unplugged show if you like Jesse stuff, Top Rope Nation logo, beer drinking, pro wrestling guys, all kinds of stuff. So check it all out if you got a chance. Just another way you can support what we're doing here over at TRN, and join the Facebook group too. Search Top Rope Nation Pro Wrestling Discussion. Great group of people in there talking pro wrestling each and every day.
Might be the only time you get us this coming week with Mind Games on Thursday. Ryan will be putting out a review on Bleacher Report on Saturday, I believe, after Crown Jewel. Because
this one I may not be able to do, but we'll see. We'll see.
Okay.
We'll see.
Say, with the look on Justin's face, we're not doing a show next Sunday. And then
I'm washing my hair that night.
Exactly. I can't, unfortunately. I got other things going on. Ryan, I'm going to catch you here. This rarely happens. We have a new patron, don't we?
Oh my God, I forgot to call that out. Yes, let me pull up our Patreon page here and do that. 1 second.
Super cool to have him in the chat last week. He was quite active.
Oh yeah. He joined right after joining us live on the show. I haven't seen him this morning yet, but Noah Long joined the Patreon, and Noah joined the second tier, which you get even more benefits on. So we really, really appreciate Noah joining up, becoming the latest patron of Top Rope Nation, and hopefully Noah is enjoying all the bonus content. And make sure you don't miss classics this week when we look back at In Your House Mind Games. Really, really looking forward to that. Mind Games, you guys, was a show that it took me a long time to see that one. I didn't order it live. This is before I was into tape trading. And I remember the Coliseum video, that one was really expensive. I remember even like trying to get it on eBay, probably late 90s. And that one was one of the highest selling ones. It took me a long, long time to see that show. I think I did eventually get in a trade probably in like 99 or 2000, something like that. You guys remember when you first saw Mind Games?
It was relatively quickly, although I don't remember how I watched it, other than it would have had to have been, the local video store actually had it for me to rent, because I remember in a pretty short order me getting to see that and Michaels and Vader, because I felt like in the moment I was catching up with Shawn's title run.
Well, I do know that the store that you went to had a lot of the 96 Coliseums, because later I bought most of them from that store. So they probably did have Mind Games. That one was gone though when I bought it, but I remember I got like Survivor Series, SummerSlam at that store for sure. Jesse?
I'm looking forward to, kind of off topic, Noah adding an additional fresh take in the $10 tier to see what his taste in classic wrestling is. Yes. We need some new blood nominating some matches, and I think he's going to hopefully inject some life into it. Mind Games wise, I remember only bits and pieces of it. Honestly, the beginning and the end were like the only two things I remember. Michaels, Mankind, and then the Savio, Hawk, Bradshaw strap match, which the match itself wasn't horribly memorable, but obviously something happened in it that was.
Yeah. And to Jesse's point, so the $10 tier patrons, they get to nominate shows for the Classics poll every month when we decide what we're going to be reviewing that month. So Noah will be eligible to nominate shows for that. We also do merch drawings every quarter for the patrons on the $10 tier, which reminds me I need to do one of those. So I'll be doing that here probably this week as well, and giving away some merch to our $10 patrons. So there's more benefits. The higher the tiers you go up, you guys can read all about that on Patreon. But yeah, $5 a month gets you access to all the bonus shows right away for just $5. It's like buying one of us a beer or coffee once a month. There you go. All right. Yeah, John, hope Noah goes for the NJPW shows like me. Those have never won a Classics poll, but we'll see, John. We'll see in the future.
And if they do win, we're going to make whoever nominated them join the show for that Classics.
Give us the blow by blow of the 5-hour show. Yeah. Okay. So let's talk a little WWE. Justin. I was thinking the words Justin and sorry, and they all just kind of blended together. Justin, I'm sorry. We have to talk about WWE a little bit here. It's the thumbnail on YouTube. It's still the biggest pro wrestling company in the world. I don't think I have any rants this week like I did last week on WWE for you guys. Maybe something will come to me as we get through this. We'll see what happens. But yeah, next weekend, WWE Crown Jewel, which doesn't make a lot of sense to call a show Crown Jewel that's happening in Australia, but here we are. Um, former Saudi show. And this is the big point I wanted to make. I know we talked about it last year. We can talk about it again. I just absolutely hate that they are wasting these champion versus champion matches on this show. It's such a colossal waste of some of the biggest matches you can do. So, you got Cody, the undisputed champion, taking on Seth Rollins, the world heavyweight champion, for the WWE Crown Jewel Championship belt. And does anybody remember how many times you saw the Crown Jewel Championship belt last year after they crowned it? After Cody beat Gunther, I believe you saw it never again after that night. I could be mistaken. I don't think it was seen again. Anyone? Am I wrong on that, Jesse?
I would guess one, maybe directly after it happened. And I think what I've noticed as well was with Gunther ever since then, he's kind of not hit a bottom, but he's hit a bottom in WWE since then.
Yeah. We talk about like repetition, and I ranted last week about their creative being kind of sucky the last several months. Well, Cody and Seth is like a match that they haven't done in a long time. I think the last time they wrestled was 2022 in a singles match. And so it's a big match. They've had some awesome matches in the past, and they're just doing this match. It's kind of like when they had the Hell in a Cell pay-per-view. So they would do Hell in a Cell just because they had to. And now that they started this Crown Jewel Championship gimmick, they got to have the two champions face off when that should be the biggest match you could possibly do. And now they just do it because the themed show is coming up. There's no storyline reason for it. I hate that. And then you also got Stephanie Vaquer taking on Tiffany Stratton, the two women's champions. Again, like these are really big matches that you got to throw away just because it's Crown Jewel time. Jesse, how do you feel about this?
You're right. It's a waste, and I think their purpose at first was because Saudi's giving them so much money. Hey, we're gonna put champion versus champion and give you this, something you're never gonna be able to see here in the United States because we did away with that type of stuff with the Survivor Series. And Liv Morgan, by the way, holds the Crown Jewel Women's Championship from last year, and she's injured. So they actually have an easy out to say, okay, she can't be in this match. This is why, as opposed to what if she was in this match, or what if she was still active and she lost the title a long time ago, like the Women's World Championship. Is it a triple threat? Are you going to explain that, or are we just going to skip history in there too?
Yeah.
They might skip history.
I'm guessing they're going to skip history on that one. But, we'll see. We'll see. So, yeah, I don't know. I just think ultimately it's really disappointing. It's just just like I said on the thumbnail, you're wasting a huge match, just because it's time to do the match. So we got to have Seth and Cody wrestle,
And I think that any benefit the winner gets from beating another champion is outweighed by the damage it does to the loser. To Jesse's point about Gunther, Gunther's talented enough that it's not like it's going to bury him, but he, in that moment, did not feel like as big of a deal as Cody. And if you're going to have these two world champions, isn't that the point, is to make both these guys feel like a big deal?
Yeah, and it's really, really difficult, and it has been, to make both world championships feel like they're on equal footing. That's a challenge of having two world titles. So when you have them face each other, one of them's going to look like it's not as good. So I've never liked it. They did this back in the day on Survivor Series, and I remember at the time we ranted on the show about that too, that it's just not a good look. It's not a good idea to just do it because we got to do Raw versus SmackDown. We got to do the two world champions wrestling each other. It's kind of the exact same thing here.
They threw NXT into the mix in 2019, I think, because of that whole Saudi situation right around Halloween time, where NXT had to come in on a SmackDown. They're like, let's just roll with them. But once it was over, Keith Lee, like any opportunity I can to mention him, where is he these days? He got over huge on that card and was just never truly to be seen again until August of 2020, even though he was a double NXT champion. So what was the purpose of NXT winning? Like, none of those people really got over. No one was really elevated into main roster tier for a while.
Yeah. Yeah. No, absolutely. Good point.
When did Vince stop, actually striking when the iron was hot with a professional wrestler? Was it the last time he did that was Cena and Batista? Just seems like he just eventually gave up on it, and he would only, slow burn guys or force them down our throats, like with Roman Reigns.
I mean, they ultimately did Brian, but the fans kind of forced that to happen.
Exactly.
Punk
Forced him to.
Yeah.
Fans did.
Yeah. Though I don't know. Those are really the two that stand out. Because with Roman, it was just like pushing, forcing it. I mean, we were there just in WrestleMania 34, trying to make it happen.
Yep.
Crowd revolted, beach balls everywhere. And speaking of Roman, he came back on Raw this week. Came back. I don't even know how many weeks he's been gone. It hasn't been that long. But it was once again promoted as the big return for him to, come back and basically made the save. The Usos were wrestling the Vision in a tag team match, and he came out and, helped them go over. And then he had this thing with Jay, who's been kind of like leaning into possibly maybe a heel turn is in his future. And they do this handshake, and Roman tells Jay that, this is his house, or however he worded it. And Jimmy's looking on, like, kind of, he's questioning the whole thing in the background. What's this mean? And, I put that out there on Twitter that night. I was like, well, if you don't have any good new material, you just play the greatest hits. And that's what they're doing. It's like more Bloodline stuff. They don't have, and that, again, I got some people in my mentions like, there's good stuff in WWE. What are you talking about? The women. Okay, I agree. Like, the women is the most interesting thing. The Raw women is the most interesting thing in WWE right now. But outside of that, like, the main event of the men's scene is so rinse and repeat. Now, I just talked about they're doing something fresh with Cody and Seth. They haven't wrestled in 3 years, but it's because they have to, and then they'll transition away from that immediately, I assume, after Crown Jewel. But like, the long-term storytelling is back to the bloodline. Back to the bloodline. Is Jey Uso going to become the new Roman Reigns? And, how Roman carried the title forever and, had help to win all the time. Is that what they're going to do next with Jey Uso? Make him the old Roman Reigns. But I mean, it's the same thing they've been doing for 5 years, you guys. So, I mean, it's just, how can we repaint this car and push it back out there in front of the audience, Jesse?
Yes, that is a big thing. And yeah, Roman, Pavlov's dogs, anytime he returns, they go nuts. It's I think this is like the 4th return in 2025.
Yeah, seriously. Yeah.
It's crazy. I'm even seeing it a lot on social media that people are getting tired of what's getting served to them. So, I mean, I don't know how much difference it's going to make. Cincinnati, by the way, we talked about this last week. You did, Ryan. You mentioned it 2 months ago. They ended up at like 6,000 or 7,000, which was like 5,000 less on SmackDown than they had the last time they were there. I saw a couple of people making excuses for it. I mean, there's 2 simple answers. The product isn't as hot, and the ticket prices are absurd.
I don't think Punk's going to be bringing up the amount of people on the hard cam side anytime soon.
Not there. No.
I got someone, because I put up a short on our YouTube channel. Someone had commented on it about, well, 5,000 is still bigger than any of AEW's TVs this year. It's like, okay, that's like whataboutism. WWE is a legacy brand that's been around for generations. The whole point is the drop off, like the percentage drop off of what they were doing in the same markets in the last year. Yeah, they're doing bigger business than AEW. That's irrelevant. The point is, this is WWE, a much bigger company. And they have been trending downwards after, for months and months and months, all of the masturbatory bragging about their ticket sales. And, hey, this is the biggest gate ever, for this company. Thanks for paying our inflated ticket prices. And the fans cheer. Yeah, they ended up with way less people. I'm trying to get the final count here from WrestleTix. Here it is. So, yeah, they had like 7,600. Last time they were there, they had 12,200 for Raw back in February. So they basically fell off about 5,000, which is not quite 50%. I don't know, off the top of my head. It's like a 40% drop off in their tickets in the same market, in the same building, like 8 months later. That's not great. I mean, it has to be due to the ticket prices, probably creative a little bit too. I just think that they continue to price out people. Like, I don't know what middle-class families are affording these tickets right now. And if they are, I don't know why they're spending that much, given the state of the U.S. economy. They're probably putting it on the credit card and paying it off over months. Not wise, in my opinion. And I said it last week. I read the quotes from Mark Shapiro about how, oh yeah, we can continue to make more ticket yield, just like UFC has done. And it's just so tone deaf, given the state of this country right now. And I mean, that's just how they think of you. They think of you as people that are willing to pay whatever they price it at, and that's that. And I said it again last week. Vince McMahon is a terrible human being, but it is true. He tried to keep ticket prices reasonable. And that's one of the few positives about that guy, I guess you could say. And it's completely outrageous. That was, yes, 7,600 would be a great TV crowd for AEW. But for WWE, when they drew over 12,000 there earlier this year, that's not great. The hard cam side, as Justin mentioned, there's pictures of it. There's pretty much nobody on that side for SmackDown. So that's you have to talk about it. That's a huge downturn for WWE in that market.
Niall, I pitched a future idea this morning that is kind of alluding to what you're talking about on for both of your chats there about WWE and studying their business in the last year and a half, and also studying AEW during that same time frame. It's going to be interesting if just a breakdown over those months to see the direction of both companies, which way they've gone. And then one last thing here, speaking of painting an old car, we're seeing another United States Open Challenge. Sami Zayn's been doing it for a few weeks. It's gotten some good marks, but again, it's rehashing an idea from a decade ago. He's going to do it again on Friday night here coming up on SmackDown before Crown Jewel. And then I'll add one more thing. NXT in the last couple of weeks has been putting some of their talent on SmackDown, and I'm hoping that at least one or two of those people will stick, like a Javion Evans and maybe a Sol Ruca once she loses her North American title.
Mm-hmm. Yeah. So just glancing where things stand, Raw's in Dallas this Monday. They have over 10,000 out for that show. They had 14,000 last time. I think I read that one off last week. So still, I mean, it's still a good house. It's just the point is they're down significantly from where they were earlier this year. So we'll continue following the ticket sales and how all of that plays out. And we'll look at AEW and if they're improving or not. Their pay-per-views continue to draw really well. TV in between has been really hit or miss for AEW. I thought the setup in Florida this Wednesday, was a theater setup. I thought that looked pretty good on TV. I like the set. Usually when they run the theaters, they look pretty cool. I think, I thought the ECW arena looked pretty mid. I talked about that on the show when it happened, and they were there for weeks and weeks and weeks. I think that might have been a mistake to run that many shows in that building. I think as like a one-off, it would have been fine, but they've been doing these residencies here and there. I don't think that's one that they should return to anytime soon. Personally, I think they should run the Manhattan Center again. That looked awesome when they ran the holiday shows there. Was that last year? I'd run there at least twice a year if I were them.
Yeah, the venue looked great on Dynamite, but holy shit, that crowd deserves to never see another wrestling show ever again with doing fucking what chants in the year 2025.
Yeah, that's bad. That's real bad. All right. I think it's a 45-minute show, but I think I've hit all the points I wanted to make this week, unless you guys have anything.
No, I mean, John in the chat asked us what AEW could do to capitalize on, WWE kind of looking at a downturn. And I think they just keep doing what they're doing, eyes forward, ignore the competition, just keep putting your best foot forward. And that's putting on great pay-per-views, great matches, and really nailing the details of their stories, which they've been pretty good at.
I think another thing they could possibly do is maybe take a small step up in arena sizes, look at between 4,000 to 6,000, as opposed to what would be 1,000 to 3,000 is what they've really been running consistently since the product was at a little bit of a dip. I think maybe they can start to take that step forward, keep the prices the same. That should be pretty simple to do, especially when your competition's overcharging.
Yeah.
It's another way they could go, but run the course, especially when there also is that potential with Swerve and Ospreay gone. MJF might be gone here for a little bit. A lot of their talent is not there. They're high-profile talent, so do what you can with these guys, but also elevate a couple of people in the process, like a Mark Briscoe and Darby Allin even. I mean, he has been elevated, but now you can throw him to another tier.
Mm-hmm. Niall says, I wonder if business goes down further, we'll still see executive producer Paul Levesque at the end of the shows. Yeah, and again, I just want to reiterate, we're not saying that their business is going down so much that AEW is beating them. We know that's not the case. We're not stupid, but it's worth talking about that after they were growing and growing and growing, and people were saying it was a boom period, which I always said was ridiculous to call it a boom period. I don't think the mainstream popularity has been there, but they're making a lot of money, and I mean, there's metrics now. Least watched Raw ever. Ticket sales way down. It's true that the business is coming down. Even so, yes, that is still way above AEW numbers. We would expect that. It's a 6-year-old company versus, like I said, a legacy brand that's been around forever, has mainstream like name value. Everybody knows WWE. Although I did see AEW Dynamite did get a shout out during the Brewers Cubs NLDS game yesterday, which was pretty cool. They came back after one of the commercial breaks and promoted it because it's on TBS. So that was cool to see that on MLB playoff game.
I do have one more thing, by the way. Tuesday Night Dynamite this coming week. So they are going head to head with NXT on their normal night. I'm going to ignore all the ratings BS. I'm sure a lot of people will really highlight that, but yeah, just put on a good show. It's Title Tuesday according to AEW. That's all they have to do. Their fans are going to be devoted. They're going to find it. I mean, and a lot of the things I'm starting to notice too is I think a lot more people are watching on Max than they are these days on TBS and or TNT.
I mean, especially now that they put the pay-per-views on there and there's incentive to have Max to get the $10 off and also get all the Max content, So I think, yeah, I don't know what the number is, obviously, but it would make sense to me if I didn't already have Max to get it and I can watch all of AEW there, so. All right, guys, that's all we got for you this morning. Kind of a brief to the point show as we sip on our coffee this Sunday morning, but it's been a lot of fun. I know Justin is doing a little grilling today.
Yes, sir. I got ribs on the smoker.
Very nice. Well, enjoy that. I'm going to enjoy a little Red Zone this afternoon. And probably catch the end of the Vikings game here, Jesse, and check in on that. So
I'll see where he's at on his timetables video. And once that's done, we're moving on to the end of the Vikings game.
Very nice. Very nice. All right, guys. Episode 397 in the books, closing in on episode 400. Never a better time to support this show as we come up on another milestone here in just a few weeks. We'll be back with you real soon. Appreciate your support, everybody. Take care. Enjoy what's left of your weekend. Have a great week. We'll see you next weekend.
Go Yankees.